Hello, my name is Audrey Ellis, and I chose to do my final paper and presentation on Cormac McCarthy's The Road. Topics of analysis. I chose 3 pieces of the book to analyze. One is carrying the fire. This is a phrase used between father and son a lot during the novel. Secondly, why does the wife or mother decide to commit suicide? This does not happen in the book itself. It happens before the novel actually starts, but the father reminisces about it. And finally, I thought the last passage was very haunting, so I decided to analyze it a little bit more. Getting into it, carrying the fire. First of all, I'd like to analyze what the phrase means to the young boy. The first appearance we see of carrying the fire is early on in the novel, and it helps the boy define himself and define them as going to be okay. They see signs of life in some of the buildings, and he wants to know how they're surviving. And the father knows that they're surviving because they're eating other people, but he doesn't want to tell his son that, so he just kind of fakes that he's going to sleep. In the morning, the son says that they're going to be okay because they're carrying the fire. The second appearance helps establish the young boy's good guy versus bad guy. They go into a house and they find some half-eaten humans in a basement being kept for survival, basically. And once the boy finally does speak after seeing this, he says that they are the good guys because they would never eat humans. So carrying the fire means being a good guy, and good guys don't eat people. The third appearance establishes a community of fire carriers and good guys. We see that the father and son have finally made it to the ocean, which was their final destination, and they're sitting on the beach, and the son imagines another boy and his father sitting on the beach, and they are carrying the fire, and basically there's more good people out there. An interesting piece of research I came upon was Daniel Littrell's Prometheus Hits the Road, Revising the Myth. He relates carrying the fire to Prometheus. Prometheus is the Greek titan who steals fire from Zeus and gives to humankind. Now, both humankind and Prometheus suffer greatly for this. Prometheus is tied to a rock where eagles peck out his liver, and humankind is sent Pandora. But with great suffering, there was great progress. Now, the boy or the son is the fire itself. He is referred to by his father as the Word of God, an angel, actually a god. He is also related to fire itself by being called God's own fire drake, or witch's dragon. And the father tells him, you are carrying the fire inside of you, so you are actually the fire. Now, to find Prometheus, we look no further than the man or the father himself. He is trying to carry his son, or the fire, to humankind as the symbol of goodness and charity, so they can make some progress, so they can be good and they can be charitable. He also suffers greatly for this. He, most of the time, is starving. He gives his son most of the food, even though the son doesn't want him to. He has to kill people to protect his son and to keep him alive, and in the end, he does die. Why does the wife or mother commit suicide? I thought she was just too weak and too afraid. She's constantly telling them the end is going to be they're going to be raped and killed and eaten, and that's just the way it is. Might as well get it over with now. She says she would take the boy with her if she could. I did find another piece of research, though, by a man named Willenberg, and he had a different reason for her killing herself. It's that she had lost her connection to her family. She lost her connection to the husband because she watches him break promises. He promised never to kill the family dog, and he has to kill the family dog. And we can also see it through the husband's flashbacks that he's lost connection with her. During the birth, he says he cares nothing of her cries. Now, the lost connection with the son does directly relate to the father. It appears that the man or the father has lost all concern for his wife, and the son outweighs the wife now. So overall, basically, she feels completely isolated, and Willenberg puts it really well. What is true in the world of the novel is true of our world as well. The best predictor of suicide is social isolation. This is the final passage that I chose to analyze. Once there were brook trout in the streams and the mountains. You could see them standing in the amber current where the white edges of their fins rippled softly in the flow. They smelled of moss in your hand. On their backs were vermiculent patterns that were maps of the world and its becoming, maps and mazes, of a thing which could not be put back, not be made right again. In the deep glens where they lived, all things were older than man, and they hummed of mystery. Now, what does this passage mean? What is he trying to talk about? I thought it was just a dying man's last vision. Maybe he's in heaven now, but he can think about this stuff, and we're seeing his thoughts. It's a world gone by, a happier time for him. But my research led me to something different. This is McCarthy's final warning to the reader. He's telling us that a failure to cultivate the earth is going to lead to a similar future that's depicted in the road. If we keep taking, eventually this is going to happen. And that's depicted in taking the fish out of the water and of a thing which could not be put back. This also has the depiction of man and nature's connection. You see a man interacting in nature, having a connection with nature. This is gone in the book. This doesn't exist anymore. And memory of a dead man suggests that the man has passed on his respect for nature, his responsibility for nature to his son, and his son can carry that on into the world. These are the sources I used in my presentation as well as my paper. I had read this book before, simply for pleasure, about 4 years ago. I had a really better understanding of things after this time. It was very enjoyable to analyze the book. I really do feel like McCarthy is trying to warn us that taking will eventually lead to, Mother Earth just giving up on us. So I think it's time to make a change. All right, if there are any questions, please let me know. Thank you, and have a good day.